Hello, good evening, everyone. It's 4 minutes after 4. I don't think we can wait any longer. At Gifts, please just note the latecomers and also the absentee to this webinar.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Look at the time now. Let's start. Okay, good evening, everyone, once again. My name is Ibu Choma. I am the lead Operation and Execution Efficiency DMI. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar. The title for today's webinar is Exploring Technology as a Tool for Efficient Manufacturing in Nigeria, as it is stated on the screen here. Okay, now this session is organized as part of the Just Pitch It contest, an initiative from Efficiency DMI to inspire innovative thinking, support emerging entrepreneurs like our participants today, promote practical solutions within Nigeria manufacturing landscape. And I think that part of our focus today for this training will be made to examine how technology, whether digital tools, automation, data management, or process optimization, can significantly enhance efficiency, productivity for manufacturers across the country. For today, we are very privileged to have with us our facilitator, Mr. Olajide Alade. A brief introduction of our facilitator before we start. Mr. Olajide is a digital marketing and communication professional skilled in digital strategy, data analytics, and project management. He has led various digital initiatives that boost visibility, engagement, and business growth across multiple sectors. Known for blending creativity with analytical thinking, he develops impactful communication strategies and tech-driven solutions. Beyond his professional work, he is passionate about youth empowerment and sustainable development, contributing to entrepreneurship and capacity building programs across Africa, including projects implemented by ICT Africa and supported by African Development Bank and European Commission. He remains committed to driving digital transformation and growth in Africa emerging markets. So you all can see that today we have a very unique, knowledgeable, and wonderful professional with us as our facilitator. So let's also settle in and stay engaged and get ready for a valued packed session. Once again, thank you for joining us. Mr. Olajide, the floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome, Choma. I really appreciate it. So if you can you see me? Okay, yeah, I can see myself now. So I'll be sharing my screen. Thank you, everyone. It's so good to be back here. I remember JP, Just Pitch It 2.0 was very engaging, and I really enjoyed your show, how it went, and looking forward to what is to come for the JPI 3.0. Without further ado, today we'll be talking more of how technology can, how we can explore technology as a tool for efficient manufacturing in Nigeria. Yes. So while she was reading the my bio, I'm sure you'll be shocked. Like, okay, how does a communications and digital marketing person have this can take this particular session. So I'm happy to announce and I'm happy to post your bubble that I have a background in engineering, mechanical engineering, manufacturing, option to be precise. So I feel just having that I'll be I'll be making my money with digital marketing and communications. So yes, I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to share what I have with everyone today. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Please, if you can hear me kindly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
we can hear you very well, sir.
okay, thank you for the feedback, Peter and Choma. All right, so I will be, okay, let me just, all right. So today, like I said, that we'll be exploring, we'll be exploring technology as a tool for manufacturing in Nigeria. Sorry, I didn't edit this particular slide. So let's uh, discuss the session overview, right? We'll be uncovering I will be sharing the introduction to technology in manufacturing, where we'll break down the different terminologies in um, technology, right? The word technology, we're going to break it down to our understanding, right? We're also going to share the key technology tools shaping the modern production. Also, we'll be looking into the practical application of SME for SMEs in Nigeria. So the practical applications, technology applications for SMEs in Nigeria. We also have case studies and real life examples, right? And also the challenges limiting the adoption of technology in Nigeria. We also look at the opportunities. Now, there's this saying that where there is a problem, there's always a solution, right? So now that we are going to explore the challenges and then we'll look at the opportunities for our young innovators like us, right? Then the recommendations for building stronger solutions. So how we can build solutions that are strong. So we're going to look at the recommendation and then we're going to have our tasks, and then the next step then we'll talk about, and then I'll take your questions. So if you have any questions, please note them down. If you can put them in the chat box, I'm sure I'll be able to see them after the session. Thank you. So our objectives for the session would be, number one would be to understand technology, how technology enhances manufacturing processes and efficiency. So this should be like our number one objective, right? Then number two will be to identify essential tools that can be adopted by SMEs today. So we're going to look at different tools that are that we can use as SMEs, right? Then we're going to explore. Oh, sorry. Okay. So sorry. So we're going to explore real-world examples of tech applications in manufacturing. Then the third will be we're going to evaluate it together. We're going to evaluate challenges faced by SMEs. So challenges that we face in adopting these technology solutions. And finally, we'll share and apply insights gained to develop actionable strategies for innovation. So okay. So I want your feedback now. So these are posers that should actually get us engaged, to get us like, okay, actually need to get serious with this particular session, right? Do you know that Nigeria's manufacturing productivity is over 40% lower than the global average, because most SMEs rely on manual processes? I'm sure if I ask one, two, three, even four of us, how our processes are, how we produce or manufacture our product, or even if it's a service that we render, how do we go about it? Most of us will say, most of us use the manual process, right? And then this is a wake-up call for us that there's actually better and faster ways we could use, go about that process, right? Again, workers abroad, as outside Nigeria in the Western world, they use machines to produce 2 to 3 times more daily output, right? And they also use technology, and then technology is like the biggest factor widening this gap. So the gap that we are seeing, technology is what is major factor that is widening it, right? Then also, do you know that SMEs lose 15 to 35% of revenue yearly due to number one, manual stock tracking, product errors, equipment breakdown, and inefficient workflows. These are like challenges that we face as SMEs right now. I'm trying to like carry everyone along that we are in this together, right? So we on a yearly basis we lose 15 to 35% of our revenue to all these problems that are listed here. So we need something. We need with technology. We need to get ourselves equipped to fight this is it fight yeah to fight this loss, right? Then also, do you know that a single day of production downtime can cost an SME 50 to 500,000 naira? Yet over 70% of SMEs do not track their machine health, their real-time performance, and energy usage. So I'm sure this 70%, most of us are part of the 70%, right? If I ask this question, how many of us look through or check our machines like on a regular basis? Not that when it's now breakdown, that's when we now like, oh, let me even check it out, what's actually causing the problem, right? Most of us, even our generators at home, we don't do like constant servicing, right? So it's when it breaks down, that's when we now say, okay, let me even look at it and then see. They then recommend, oh, how about you service and all. So these are things that are things that we're going to discuss that technology can actually help us to curb and then help us to get the efficiency needed in our production, daily production. And again, the real-time performance. Also, most of us don't track our real-time performance, the performance of our machines. Also, the energy usage. I'm sure most of us don't even know. I'm not that we don't know, but most of us don't are not aware that we need to track the energy usage of our machines and our equipment, right? And also, adding one simple automation process can actually increase your productivity by 3 to 5 times, right? So if you are automating your process, take for instance, you automate a regular process, say you want to moving of your finished goods from one place to another. If a machine is doing that for you, right? Do other things that you need to do, and then it increases your productivity. It also reduces your labor cost, right, to about 20 to 40%, and also improve your product consistency by over 60%. These are data that are actually real, and if you are able to add the technology to your processes, these are things that you're going to get, right? And finally, do you know that less than 10% of Nigerian SMEs use digital production digital production tools, yet 85% say efficiency is their biggest challenge. So if you are saying the efficiency is your biggest challenge, do you actually use tools that would help you get more efficient at what you do, right? So let's just get straight to the business of the day. So now that you know all this data, you've gotten the facts, this is where you come in. So enough of me talking. I love it when my session is interactive. I want us to like give me feedback. I'm going to check. I'm going to be in the chat box. Just when you hear the word technology, what comes to your mind? When you hear technology, if it's a word or a statement or something that comes to your mind when you hear the word technology? I want us to share in the chat. So I'm going through the chat now. Accelerator, thanks Ash Farm. I'm waiting for your feedback. So Ash Farm said accelerator. So I don't know if Ashram is a male or female, but they said technology is accelerator. When they hear the word technology, what comes to mind is accelerator. Tim Wellness said it's a catalyst. So when they hear technology, it senses or gives them this word catalyst. That it's a catalyst, right? Tim Mercy S said use of automated machine. Okay, thank you for your feedback. We are all correct, right? Thank you for the feedback. So from my definition, it refers to the tools, systems. Okay, thank you, Team Wellness. Anything that makes work easier and faster. Thank you. Taiwo Esther said, good afternoon. Okay, sorry, that's not for me. All right, thank you. So I'm going back to our definition. So it refers to the tools, systems, machines, and digital solutions created to solve problems, improve processes, and make work faster, easier, and more efficient. So technology refers to the tools, systems, machines, and digital solutions created to solve problems, improve processes, and make work faster, easier, and more efficient. So, like we all said, we are all correct. All are what comes to mind. You're actually correct. They are all correct, right? So, thank you all for your feedback. So, in manufacturing, technology includes automation, software, digital monitoring tools, smart machines, and data-driven decision systems. So these are things that we're going to look into today, and then we're going to break them down for us to understand better. So going straight to the next. Now, why technology matters in manufacturing? So why does technology matter in manufacturing? Number one is manufacturing is becoming manufacturing globally is becoming faster, smarter, and more precise. When we look at our counterparts in outside Nigeria, for instance, they've gone like way ahead of us. Let's take China as an example, right? Their manufacturing process has gone way beyond, even way beyond what we can imagine, right? They've gone like when you just think of something now, by the time you go online, what you are seeing, they've already done it like years before. So it's becoming very fast, and it's becoming smarter and more precise, right? The technology reduces manual errors, waste, and downtime. I mentioned that earlier that the downtime during processes, it's been reduced due to the use of technology. So the manual errors, technology would help us reduce it to the barest minimum, right? It also improves the product quality, um, the speed and consistency. So if, for instance, um, let me use like an product, for instance, you process um, your food or your beverage, for instance. If you do it manually, there's actually 90% assurance that you won't get the same quality that you're going to get if you're using a machine or a technology that would help you make the process, or that would help you with the process. All you need to do is just input what you need to do, what you want it to do, and it keeps repeating it like over and over and being consistent with it, right? So it improves your quality. It also gives you speed. That speed is very important when it comes to technology. Like it's that time that you used to produce 100, you can use technology to produce thousands, and it's going to be fast, and also be consistent. Also, SMEs can scale product without increasing labor cost. You can scale your production without increasing your labor cost. Also, you can local manufacturers who adopt technology gain a competitive edge. If you adopt technology, you're going to gain a competitive edge. Take for instance, when you use technology and you want to reach out to a funder, for instance, or you're applying for funding, or you're applying for you're a competition like JPI, for instance, and you tell them, oh, I use this technology and I just need this support to make it go. They see you as, oh, this person knows what he or she is doing already, and it gives you that edge, right, over other competitions, right? So it gives that competitive edge. It also enables real-time monitoring, better planning, and efficient resource use, right? When you are able to monitor your production from start to finish, it gives you that better also planning. It gives you more time to even plan other things if you know that this process is already taken care of by my technology, right? You have other things to put your mind at and then plan, right? It also gives you that helps you to efficiently use your resources, right? If it's your time is one of your resources, right? So you are able to use that your time effectively and efficiently. Then technology helps SMEs to survive in challenges like rising operation costs, market competition, and also market customer demands for higher quality. So when you're using technology, it helps um, help you survive in these challenges. Then let's talk about the key tools. So if I'm going too fast, you can call my attention, please. I'm going to slow down a bit. So what are the key technology tools? So I don't know how to cover this. Okay, let's just share what are the tools when you hear technology, when you've told me what comes to mind, right? So what are the tools that you feel, oh, when I see this tool, when I hear technology, these are the tools that comes to mind. Don't look at, well, these are just they're not major tools. Like they are tools, but they are not like the these are the not the names, right? So just share what tools come to mind. What are the names of the tools that come to mind when you hear technology? Now, I'm sure we are all into manufacturing or we do processes, right? So what comes to mind? Computer. Thank you, Tim. Yes. So when he hears technology, what comes to his mind is the computer, right? So that's very correct. What else? Um, I'm waiting for, oh, app. Okay, Team Wellness said app. Thank you for the feedback. Posh Zobo Wine Factory Equipment. Thank you for the feedback. Creative design tool like Canva, very correct. Dehydrating machines, very correct. Thank you for the feedback, everyone. So yes, we're all correct, and I'm happy we are on the same page. E-commerce platforms, that's very correct. That's very, very correct. All right, so the tools um, that are transforming the Nigeria's manufacturing sector, not just Nigeria, like all over the world, right, is are the industrial automation, right? So industrial automation, we're going to look into all these tools one after the other. Industrial automation, IoT, that's Internet of Things for production monitoring, AI for quality control and prediction, digital inventory and ERP systems, CAD and CAM, as computer-aided design or computer-aided manufacturing for design and prototyping, then digital supply chain platforms, and this is where the e-commerce platforms comes in, it's in the process, right? So thank you everyone for the feedback. So we're going to we'll look into these tools one after the other. So number one on the list is the industrial automation. So when you talk about industrial automations, these are machines or tools that we use to automate our processes. Take for instance, you want to let's use an example, the CNC router. So when you want to cut like a particular shape, a particular design, there's a machine that is being used for that. It is called a CNC router, right? So this router is used to like cut it to, it's going to cut your designs and it's going to be very precise. So how do you do this? It's just to input what you want, input your design, input your coordinates, everything that you need in that design, input it into the system, and then the system will do the cutting for you. That's it. It's so in the furniture work, in metal work, this is a machine that is being used for cutting, right? Then automated mixers and fillers, right? So, sorry. So, in the picture, the first picture here is the CNC machine, right? So that's the picture of it. So the automated mixers and fillers. So okay, those in the so agro use it. The food and beverage also they use the mixers, right? So the mixers are used to like mix our products, right? So when we this is a tool that is being used, right? It's automated, so there's the manual one and there's the automated one, obviously, right? So these are machines that makes the work easier for us instead of we using our manual effort, using our hands to do the mixing. There are machines that could do that would even do the whole work for us in a twinkle of an eye, and then there are fillers also. So they do the mixing and then they do the filling for us. So when we go to um, let's use Coca-Cola, a beverage industry, for instance, there's a machine that does the filling. It's not a manual thing, so it's been automated. They've imputed the quantity that is going to be going into each of the bottles, and this is done in just a twinkle of an eye. By the time the packaging line, there's something called another to accommodate the packaging line. So when the bottles are arranged on the line and they get to the point where where it's meant to be filled, the filler fills the bottle and then gets the work done for you like ASAP, and it moves to the next point of process, right? So these processes are automated already to and it's the use of technology. With the use of technology, they make it more efficient, faster, and even more efficient, right? So packaging lines, it's like there are different sections. So in the bottling industry or the beverage industry, for instance, right? So there's a line for the bottle arrangement. There's a line for bottle cleaning. There's a line for filling. There's a line for the bottle top uh, um, attaching the bottle top that's a cover to the bottle, and then there's a point for the labeling. There's a point for putting the bottles in a crate or maybe a box or something, right? And there's another line for taking it from that point to the point where it will be stored, right? So those are that line, that process is called a packaging line, right? So these processes are automated and they are done um, 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 by the use of technology, right? So what are the benefits? Number one is there's faster output. Imagine one person, if you are doing this manually and it's just okay, say even if you have 100 people doing it, it's not going to be as fast as as fast or efficient as using a machine or an industrial automation, right? It also reduces errors, right? We are humans, we are prone to make mistakes, right? But machines hardly make mistakes, and the percentage of it making mistake is not at least it's going efficiency of a machine is 99%, right? So to be honest, thank you. Mixers filler crana. Yeah, thank you for the feedback. Right. So the probability of it making mistake is very slim, right? Compared to humans. Okay, so it's also there's also a lower long-term operating cost. Imagine if you are going to employ people to do the work for you. You don't need when you bring in if you're using an industrial automation or a machine to do it for you, all you need to do is employ one person to do the work for you, to do the whole to do the imputing and all, and then just to monitor, right? But if you are going to do the manual, you need to employ more than one person to do it. So the operating cost is taken out when you're using industrial automation. So let's go straight to the IoT production monitoring. So when you in the industrial automation or in the process of you manufacturing your products or your products, right? There's something called the IoT for production monitoring. That's Internet of Things, right? So it helps you monitor things. So things that humans can yeah, you can note them, but there are machines, there are technologies that we could use that are being used, not even can that are being used to monitor these processes for us. So, for instance, temperature or humidity sensors. If you are in the manufacturing space, maybe food. I'll keep. And I'm sorry. I think because I like food, that's why I speak more about food and drinks, right? Or the food and beverage industry. So when you are there, where you are producing, there's a particular temperature that you need to produce some food, right? So you need to be sure that you are producing at that temperature. So you can't carry your thermometer everywhere you go, right? So you should actually give this process, this work to a technology, to a machine, right? So you should so there are machines that are being used to sense temperatures. Even the machines that you use, there are some machines that you shouldn't exceed a particular temperature so that they won't wear out is on time, right? So you need there are some machines that are being used to test or to check temperatures. That even they don't just check, they also give that prompt when you are going above or below the normal temperature, right? There are also smart meters that actually help you to monitor and also help you gauge. Maybe you produce you produce products that are very sensitive to um, quantity quantity. Maybe quantity wise, you should have like a specific you have a specific number that you work with, and you don't know you can't use your eyes to predict. And if you even have a manual machine that you use, right, there's going to be that human error. In physics, there are some errors that we say error due to parallax, right? So all those errors that are being stated, that we are prone to like have them as individuals, right? So how about you just give this work to the technologies, and then they will help you get rid of those errors, and you get the accurate results that you need during your production, right? Then machines that help you sense vibrations and then help you sense the health of your machines, right? There are also RFID trackers. These are after production, how do you track your product? How do you track the movement of your product from one place to another? There are machines and technologies for this as well. So, what are the benefits of these machines? They reduce downtime. I can't overemphasize that downtime. They reduces downtime. They provide real-time visibility. So when you see it, exactly. Thank you, Possible. So she said, coding machines eases the tracking. Exactly. So these machines, they help you to track, and then you see what's happening in real time. You are able to see it on your system. Maybe you're not even there, and the machine is working. You are seeing how the machine is working in real time, right? It also enhances quality control. By the time you know that, okay, this result that the result or the product I'm getting from this process are going to be the quality wise will be at least 99% accurate, right? So that's a good one compared to using the manual effort that you can't have up to 99%, right? So let's go straight to yes. So AI for forecasting and quality control. Yeah, most of us we know we've heard and we know when I'm sure I was even expecting people to mention AI when they hear the word technology, what comes to mind, right? So I'm happy we all have on other things in mind, right? So AI is part of technology that are being used in the manufacturing space now. And I'm happy to announce to you that AI is here to stay, and AI is here to make our life easier and not take our job. right? But if if you're not ready to adapt, right? And there's something about we Nigerians, there's a way we adapt to situations, right? So I hope you are able to adapt to the use of AI and then use it for your own advantage and not your disadvantage, right? So there are AIs for forecasting and then for helping us with quality control, right? So applications like yeah, we are for AI. Yes, exactly. We are for AI, right? And we are leveraging it. Thank you, to be honest, for the feedback. Now, applications of AI forecasting are number one, they detect defects. Take for instance, there is a normal procedure in, uh, so in the ML, that's the in the space, like the sorry, in the like you've imputed the normal flow into your AI model already, and then the AI automatic like you've imputed it and you've attached it to your process already, and there's like a change in the flow or in the process. The AI would trigger it if you prompt it to trigger, like to send a notification or a prompt, right? So it helps you detect defects. It helps you predict demand. So predicting demand. So to predict your demand for you. So take for instance, you are in the supply chain, for instance, right? So when you input your data into the AI and then it's forecast for you to predict the demand, what people are demanding, right? What people actually want. Yeah, it's not like someone helping doing the manual entry for you, but AI would help you do the forecasting, right? It also helps in the optimization of your production flow, right? It optimizes your production flow, right? And also this is very, very, very how I use AI for this a lot of times, right? It helps you in reporting, right? So when you just all you need to do is give the AI your data, and then it gives you a report, right? If for instance you want to report okay, you're producing, and then you want to report on your production level, on your inventory level, or something that is particular to you, like a report on a monthly, on a weekly, or a daily basis, right? You want it to report to you like every day. You can use AI to do that for you, and every day, and even if you want it every hour to give you a report, it's going to give you the report like every hour on a particular flow, or everything concerning your manufacturing. So what you need to do is just to plug it into the process and get your result. So tools like Google Auto ML, Microsoft Azure ML, and open source AI models, just like we have the ChatGPT, OpenAI, right? And other AIs that are out there. So just to learn about them and then see how you can integrate them into your daily processes and flow, right? So let's go straight to the next one, the digital inventory and ERP tools. So common tools like Odoo, Zoho Inventories, SAP B1, Sabifix, right? So these are tools that helps us with our inventory. So all you need to do is input your data, and then you get your accurate results, right? Or your output, right? So these are tools that are very helpful. So you can see that right from the time that you get your product to the final storage, and even the tools the tools, the output, there are tools that you can use to help with all the processes, just to make your work more efficient and to make the work easier for you. So the benefits are it eliminate manual stock errors, right? So if you are putting in your stock, you are manually imputing, there's probability, like very high probability, that there will be mistakes or errors, right, during the process. And it also improves planning and procurement. So when you're keeping you know that your inventory is accurate, right? It helps you improve the planning and your procurement process, right? Makes the work very easier for you and then faster. And when you want to make decisions, you are able to make better, different decisions, right? And then it saves your time and money. Imagine you need to pay someone to do the manual entry for you. You pay like more than one person to do the manual entry, but you employ one person and then person inputs the data and then you get your result like ASCP. Like that cost for or that operation cost has been taken out of the way for you, right? It saves you the time and then the money. So let's go straight to the next on the list. So we have the CAD or CAM for precision manufacturing. So if you are in the manufacturing space where you need to manufacture, right, you need the CAD CAM. So let's use the CNC. You know, I mentioned one of the tools earlier, the CNC machine, right? So what you need to do is just input your CAD, your CAD designs and computer design into your system and put in the coordinates, all your data, put it into it, and you get your precise outputs, right? So example of those tools are Fusion 360, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, 3D printers. So they are 3D printers. We have seen Ocean, is it Ocean's 8 or Ocean 6? I can't remember the title of the movie. I'm sorry, of the movie. So where they wanted to take they wanted to take steal, not take actually. They wanted to steal, they stole actually. They wanted to steal because still the process, then the process, they had to use a 3D printer to print a duplicate of that particular thing they wanted to steal from the museum, right? So 3D printers, I'm not saying you should, please, this is just a caveat, please. So I'm not saying you should, so they're positive, just use technology for the positive use, please. So 3D printers are used to like produce 3D images or objects, right? So what are the benefits? We have accurate design. So when you use 3D, when you use CAD or CAD or CAM procedures or tools, you get accurate designs. You get to reduce material waste, and then you get a faster prototyping. So, for instance, if you are in the industry where you have to produce products that you need to first have prototypes, right? So it helps you give a more faster prototype. And also there's this, there are even tools that you can even use for simulations, right? So simulations, maybe if it's a process, right, and you need to simulate that process to see how it's going to be in real life, right? There are tools for that. I think MATLAB, yeah, there's a tool called MATLAB where you simulate your process and you see how the process is going to be in real life. So before you spend your money, you spend or use those resources, right? You simulate it, do like a simulation on the software, and then you see how it's going to go in real life, like real time, and then by the time you are done, you're able to bring out those precisions into your CAD and CAM, and then you produce it. So technology makes work very easier and make your work easier, and they make life easier for you as well, right? So let's go straight to the next on the list is, oh, sorry, I said list. The next is the practical applications. Now we've talked about all the tools, all the processes that are involved, right? So let's talk about the practical applications of these tools I've mentioned. So number one, so how SMEs use SME use technology on a daily. Number one is automating repetitive work. So if, for instance, you do a particular task like every day, not just every day. There are times that we even take, for instance, so my wife bakes, she does small jobs, and then every like almost every time she gets to like wrap, do all those things. And do you know there are ways that these processes can be automated, and you get to do these things like you get to do less work, and then let the machine do the work for you. So this so when you automate your process, it helps you curb that doing a particular task or a particular thing like over and over and over again, right? So it also monitors your production. So when you use technology on a daily basis, you monitor your production. It also um, um, using digital stock tools, right, and scheduling your production, and also using AI for decision making. So, like I said earlier, that we use these tools for our decision making. So, when you use AI, not like you are depending on it, like you're giving it the data, right, and then you're able to make accurate decisions, right, using the data. So it also gives you this. It's just like it's suggesting to you. You have the final say, right, as an individual, right. Uh, now let's go to the practical example of agro processing SME, right. So this okay, excuse me. So this SME is in the agro space, agro industry, right? Agro processing, right? The number one challenge, like their major challenge now, is manually sorting and packaging. Okay, manual sorting and packaging slows output, right? They do the sorting. Maybe they go to the farm, they need to get the fruits they need for their production. When they get it, okay, let me use example. Now, a cashew nut industry or manufacturer, they produce cashew nuts. Now, before you can make a cashew nuts for for it to be edible, they need to go, right. They harvest the cashew, right. After harvesting the cashew, they do the sorting. After sorting, they do the whole process. They wash it. They do like it's a very long process, right? Now, after they are done with the whole sorting, they are done producing it. Now they need to do the sorting again. Like, okay, this cashew can go after going through quality Q&A, quality assurance, and quality QC and AI. I don't know. So yeah, quality control, right? So it has gone through it, and they're able to say, okay, this thing is good to go. Or this particular one is good to go. Oh, this is too big to go, right? That process could be automated, right? But they said they do this process manually, right? So out it, and by the time they are done with the sorting, they will now need to like package it all over again, right? So this process can be very time consuming, right? And it's going to slow the output, and then the final output that they will get is going to be affected, right? So they have to bring up and think of solutions to this their problem, to this challenge that they have, right? So number one is they need to automate their sorting process. So they automated the sorting process, and instead of doing it manually, they gave the work to a machine to do the sorting. Then the sensor, right? They needed to like do more like integrate a sensor to do the quality control for them. So instead of humans to do this the quality control, they had to introduce a sensor to do the control, the quality for them, and then the digital inventory tracking. So for every bottle that goes through the machine, there's actually a sensor that does the tracking, that does the tracking, and that does the counting for them, right? Then the final outcome is they get to have higher output, improved hygiene. During the process of sorting, there's high probability that it's going to get contaminated, right? And then there's going to be cost in saving. So your savings is going to be your cost is going to be saved, right? So there's going to be cost saving in the process. So for them, sorry. So next is the manufacturing industry. So let's leave the food now. Let's go to the the other industry. Now let's talk about the furniture factory. Now they manually cut their furniture, right? So this process, sorry, excuse me. Sorry. So these people they cut their furnitures manually. You know that saw, right? And then during the cutting, there's always error. There are always errors, and then waste as a result of the errors in the process. Now they have to introduce a solution. They have to provide solutions to their challenge, right? So number one on the list is they introduced a CNC machine for precision. So what they just need to do is input um, their data, like what they need to cut, and then it gives them what they want. Then they have to introduce CAD designs. So instead of doing the manual drawing of what they want, there's a CAD design that there's a software that does the design for them, and then they are able to track their materials, right? So they're able to track their materials with the use of trackers, right? Inventory trackers. Then the outcome is they get to get accurate finishing. So instead of getting um, um, a finishing that is not as accurate as what they would have done using a CNC machine, for instance, they're able to get an accurate finishing. They're able to do the processing in lesser time. So lesser time in like if you're able to take for instance, you're doing the manual labor, the manual work, the machine will do it in less than say a few minutes. Where if you're doing the manual labor, you might even you might even use the whole day to do the whole cutting yourself. So there's going to be faster production. So when they use when this furniture factory when they started using machines and tools that are automated that are technology they are integrated into technologies, right? They get to produce more um, faster. Then yes, so let's enough of so that the last two examples are hypothetical, right? So they are not real. So now we are now going into the real world, the real case studies now. So real fruit, who knows? Okay, well, okay, so real fruits, they are into their agro processing, right? They have agro processing background. They are Nigerian SME founded in 2012. They process locally grown fruit into snacks. So they are faced with challenges with market access and scaling operations. So that's the background, their background, right? So the technology they implemented, number one, they implemented the use of e-commerce such as Jumia and Amazon. So if you go there, they had to integrate these e-commerce technologies right into their processes. Then another thing is they're able to have a mobile supply chain apps for their process, and they also integrated a GPS enabled farmer network connecting 500 smallholders for real-time inventory updates. So so industry this company they created an app that is GPS enabled that connects them to farmers, right? Because they deal directly with them, they get their produce and then they process this produce, right, to make the output for um, uh, consumption, right? So the outcome from their operation or from their implementation are number one, they are able to um, generate over 200 they achieved over 200 revenue growth in 2020 to 2023. They also expanded into the European market, right? They also created over 150 rural jobs, 60% held by women. Then the challenges they faced were they had limited access to affordable loans for tech adoption. They also had digital literacy gaps among farmers, right? So, I'm just sharing this with us so that this should be like opportunity for us. So if you are in the agro processing space, this is an opportunity for us. This is like a market for us, right? So implications. So the implication shows how digital platforms can scale agro processing SMEs, highlights financing barriers in rural agri-tech ecosystem, right? So these are like um, the implications of what they were able to do as an organization. Also, we have Dangote Cement. So they are able to automate. They do automation and then sustainable manufacturing, right? So what they're able to do is, okay, let's talk about their background. They are Africa's largest cement producers. Obajana plant contributes 16.25 million megatons to Nigeria's annual 60 million megatons capacity, right? The technology they've implemented, number one, the robotic arms for packaging. So instead of humans doing the packaging, they've introduced, they use the robotic arms for their packaging. They now use AI-powered quality control. So they also use the alternative energy, that's the coal and biomass co-processing. So instead of depending on the normal power, right, they now use the alternative energy, right, to make in their process, right. Then the outcomes, they're able to reduce the production cost by 15%. That's a very good number. Then they also reduce the CO2 emission. So as a producer or as a player in the manufacturing space all over the world, there's the SDG goals for you to make sure your production process be able to should be sustainable, right? It should be able to should be sustainable, right? So they are able to reduce the CO2 emission by 20% since 2020, right? So since 2020, Dangote Cement has been able to reduce their CO2 emission. So that's a good number, right? So they're able to also increase their export capacity to 12 African countries. So now now that they've automated most of their processes, most of their they are able to implement technologies in their production. So they are able to increase their capacity, their export capacity to 12 African countries, and that's a good one for them. So the challenges that they faced were number one, they had very high capital expenditure, right? So in this process, now it's not cheap, right? These technologies are not cheap, right? So the expenditure were high. Then the technical skill gaps requiring foreign engineering partnerships, that's another one. Then the implications, right, is they demonstrate demonstrates benefits of automation plus green tech and highlights the cost barrier for smaller manufacturers. So now let's now talk. I mentioned earlier that we're going to look into the challenges and the opportunities that are in for us as manufacturers, right, or as players in the manufacturing space in Nigeria. So these are the challenges. Now, the barriers to technology innovation and integration. Number one is the cost of equipment, right? So these equipment are not cheap, they are pricey, right? So this like one of the major barriers to the integration or adoption of technologies. And thank God for Efficiency DMI. This is one of the platforms that that would help you to get that. Okay, at least if you don't get the 100%, at least you get the support to have this equipment or these technologies integrated or integrated into your production processes. Then limited digital skills. Yes, these tools are not, you need to be tech savvy to be able to use them. And then there are some that are, those are not, that does not even require you to write code, right? You even need to like know how to use the basic, like on the basic level, use the computer. Like just okay, you need to input this here, you need to input this here. So you need to have that digital skills, right? So how many of us can would even okay? So take for instance, you want to learn machine learning because you need to integrate it into your production process. You need to go back and learn it. So it's one of the challenges that are being faced by producers or manufacturers. Like we don't have that digital skills, and then that even that time that we some of us we even say we don't have that time to go through that process of learning, right? So what in turn is we then employ someone to do the work for us, right? So you need to learn. So that's the solution, one of the solutions to this digital skills. You need to learn. So it's we have limited numbers of people that have these digital skills, right? So it's an avenue for us to learn and then be a key player in that space, right? So another challenge we face as manufacturers in Nigeria is unreliable power supply. So the alternative to that will be to employ or have solar powered solar or wind powered engines or machines to help us to give us the power that we need, right? So unreliable power supply is another challenge. Another one is low awareness. Now, this is why we are having this session, right? Now that you are aware that there are tools that could help or that can help you get your work done easier and faster. Now that you are aware, how about you go learn them and then it, seek funding and then learn and then integrate them into your daily process or your daily flows, right? Again, another problem is another challenge. Another challenge is the resistance to change. Most of us are like we find it hard to move from that manual process to the automated process, right? We are so used to the manual way of doing things. So we don't want to change. So now it's time for you to change. I'm imploring us. So if you feel, oh, it's going to be hard for you to to get used or acquainted to that new way of doing things, yeah, it will take a while. It will take a toll on you to get used to it, but it's for the best, right? It's for you to get the best out there for people and then for your company. Again, the lack of local support. Yes, lack of local support. Support locally, right? If you don't get local support, how can you get international support or foreign support? So, the lack of local support, and thank God for efficiency DMI, right? The internet and connectivity issues, we can't overemphasize that, right? So, network challenge here and there can actually be a major challenge. Imagine you have your tools, your machines, everything that are internet enabled, and maybe there's downtime by from the internet providers. It's going to definitely affect your production flow, and then there's going to be a downtime, right? So enough of the challenges. Let's now go to the opportunities for us as innovators and innovators in the manufacturing space. Now, number one is affordable local automation, right? When we look at it, okay, how about I come up with this is a challenge that I've seen in the manufacturing space. How about I come up with a solution, a local solution that can go global eventually, right? Maybe you think of a process that you feel this thing is still being done manually. How about I write a code using an AI to write a code that would help make this work, that will make this process or this challenge, that will provide solution to this challenge, right? So you can do more, like, okay, let's now look into the material sourcing. For instance, you source materials locally, then to do to make the work more efficient and more and faster for you, right? Not faster now, but to make it more affordable. That's the right word, right? When you source your materials locally, it's more affordable, right? Than when you're sourcing it outside your locality or your location. Then your mobile first factory apps, IoT for small shops, pay as you go equipment models. Yes, so I think there are some organizations or companies that does pay as you go model that, okay, they are going to help you, they are going to provide the machines for you, and then all you need to do is maybe pay on a monthly, weekly basis. I think that there are some organizations like that. Then the XME workflow tools, so it can come up. There are also SME workflow tools that you could develop or you could plug into as as uh, an SME, and also local maintenance plus support networks. You can have that's another opportunity. You have a network of local maintenance and network. So take for instance, you're good at maybe you created a tool that detects a particular defect in a particular machine, for instance. Now you're able to um, create like a network around that, and then you're able to even reach out to people around that space. That, I have this tool, and then how about you come in, and then I'm able to give you this tool to use, and then you give it to your network. Okay, your network are able to use it again, and then you're able to like build a community or a network of users around that your product, right? Local maintenance. Okay, for instance, you have a machine, and then you are able to have an engineer that is a local engineer, not that you're bringing an expatriate or someone outside the country to help you do the maintenance of your machine. Then recommendations. So enough of the talking. Let's talk about recommendations for innovators, right? So you need to start small. Now, I know most of us we started small, and where we are at now, just give yourself that pat in the back that yes, you're doing well. Now you need to begin with manageable products to build confidence and skills, right? Again, you need to build for Nigeria, right? Design solutions that reflect local needs and context effectively. Don't just build. When you have a solution and your solution is not providing solution to a local problem, there's a problem without your solution, right? So because you're in Nigeria, you're providing a solution or providing solution to a problem outside Nigeria. If I'm a fund, I'll be like, why are you leaving your country? Why are you going outside your country? Right. So you need to build for Nigeria. So when you build for Nigeria, you can then say, okay, let me leave Nigeria now. Let me now go outside Nigeria. Let me go Africa. Outside Africa, okay, let me now go global. Right. So there are problems that are peculiar to each market, right? So you need to find what that problem is, that challenge in your location or your local space, and then you then go global. Then you go do simplicity first. You need to do simplicity. Simplicity should be your first thing. So you need to focus on user-friendly tools that can be easily adopted, right? You don't build tools that the technological know-how will be very advanced, that if you are not on the advanced level, you'll be able to use the tool, right? So if you are building a tool, if your process is not as easy as ABC, then there's a challenge. So you need to make sure your tools are user friendly, and then the experience should be as well very seamless. Then partnerships, yeah, this is I can't overemphasize this. If you are just starting out, or even if you have gone far in the manufacturing space, you need partnerships. You need to collaborate with others to leverage resources and expertise effectively. Take, for instance, you have a challenge and you know that this particular person in your industry has they've gone past that particular challenge. You reach out to them. How did you do it? How were you able to go through this phase of your process or something? Just reach out to them and then partner with them. If, for instance, another partnership that you can do is you have you want to you have a production flow, and then in a particular space or industry, they use they use that engine, they use that machine in their space, and you feel, oh, you could partner with them and say, okay, this okay, this phase this phase of my production, how about I do it at your space, and then your own production line, that phase that you feel you need help with, how about you come do it at my space, and then there's like a cross collaboration during the process, and then it makes everything, it's going to be a win-win for everyone at the end of the day. So you collaborate to leverage your resources and your expertise. If it's your expertise, for instance, maybe the person, the other industry, the deficient in a particular space that you feel you are very good at. How about you reach out to them? Okay, this is the space I know that you are deficient at. How about I come in here for you, and then you come in here in return for me? It's a win-win, right? So yeah, so I will be that will be all for now. So if you have any question, I will be happy to answer them. Right before the question, yeah, there's an assignment for us. So number one is you need to identify one SME. I'm sure a space, you need to choose a space probably in your space. So now, instead of identifying, you have identified that you're in a space, right? So your SME space, right? So you then outline the challenges. So what are the challenges that you are facing as an SME in that space? So you discuss the potential barriers to technology implementation phase, and then you propose outline the steps for integrating your choosing technology effectively. So I'm sure we'll have a place where we submit our assignment. So I'll be happy to get them. So thank you everyone for your attention and time. I will be happy to take questions now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Olajide. Any question like he asked? Please, if you have any question, you can unmute, or maybe you send your question via chat. I'm checking the chat message.
Okay, I couldn't hear properly because of network. Okay. Okay, the assignment. Okay, let me take that again. So I said that you identify an SME. So now you don't need to identify again. You have you are the SME now, right? So in your space, you need to look at the challenges in your field, right? Then you propose a tech solution. So what's that solution you are going to propose to this challenge? It could be one solution to the whole challenge. It could be one solution to one particular challenge, like a major challenge. So I would advise you just pick one challenge and then a solution. So who knows, after now, maybe after the session, you can take it ahead. Like, okay, I detected this problem, and then this is a solution I have for it, and then who knows, you can be the next Elon Musk. So then after then, you create a workflow diagram, how the workflow is going to be. So you outline the steps to integrate this your chosen technology effectively. So you do like a line diagram, a workflow diagram to show how you want to integrate this your technology effectively. Thank you. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, so I'm going through okay, it's so great. You're talking about 3D printing. We had 3D printers now. Okay, that's good to hear, Team Swift. Okay, so Team Footwear, I have a question. As a shoemaker, how can I clearly show that my business is technology based? Most opportunities today say your business must use technology, and sometimes it looks like only software or pure tech companies qualify. So how do we in the footwear industry explain the technology we use, whether design, production, customer service, or operations in a way that fits into tech driven opportunities? Right. So like I said, if it's just one technology that you use, if it's going to be in your design, it's a technology. Maybe instead of using your hand to draw your patterns, you use a tech tool to draw your patterns. It's a technology. You have incorporated technology into your process. If it's the production process, I'm sure there are machines, there are machines that use automations, right? So, but then these are pricing, right? So this I'm sure you don't want to use that as the technology. If it is the customer service, for instance, maybe you use an application, maybe Zoho, you use or any CRM tool, right? It's a technology. You add it, you own it. You be like, yes, we use it, right? If it is operations, for instance, your inventory tracker, your inventory management, for instance, even if it's an e-commerce page, your website too can be your technology too, because it's not everyone that uses it's not every shoemaker or cobbler that uses that have websites, right? So that's another technology that you know that you can implement into your process, right? So I hope that answers your question. So the next question. Okay. Okay, I've answered the question. So should it be a simulation? Okay. Is that for the assignment? If you want to use a simulation, fine, but a diagram works. I would like to use simulation for my new formulation. I make a cold dishwashing liquid soap. What machine can I use? Hmm. Okay, so this is where research comes in. I don't know much about the liquid soap manufacturing, right? So just you can do your research and see how you can integrate the use of machines or a okay simulation for the new formulation. Yeah, yes, you can just do your research, look for tools or softwares that you can use for I'm sure there are some biological tools that you can use like softwares that are being developed that you can use for these formulations. So for machines, I don't know much about machines, but there are simulating tools that you can use for this process. So it's going to give the quantity you should use, how it affects the ecosystem to make it more eco-friendly. So that's another thing that you can use as okay, thank you. So you've gotten spectrophotometer. That's it. That's great. So you can do more research and see how you can use that for your simulation. You're welcome, Team Footwear. You're welcome, Team Wellness. Any other question? Okay. Um, Choma, over to you. Thank you everyone for your time, and I look forward to seeing our assignment.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for on behalf of Efficiency DMI. But before I close for the day, I want to remind our participants that the deadline for submission of the assignment is Thursday, 12 noon. And you submit as PDF via your emails, please. I hope you understand what I'm saying. 12 noon, deadline for submission of the assignment. And you submit via email. Okay, on behalf of Efficiency DMI, I extend my sincere appreciation to our facilitator. Sorry?
When you are done, please, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I've just given them the deadline for the submission and I want to do the closing remark. If you have anything to say, Mr. Peter, you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Choma. Thank you very much. A very special appreciation to Mr. Ajibade. Yeah. So, to the participants, a lot I'll say we discussed about during the previous section and also from to this section, and I believe we've been able to learn something new, and also we should also be able to reflect this with respect to our products, processes, material selection, sourcing, and all of that. So, from today's section, the expectation from efficiency DMI would be that as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, you should go back to your drawing table, reassess your complete chain, down to the material sourcing, down to processing or adding value to this raw material, and then to getting the finished or semi-finished products as the case may be. And then think about, if this is where I am today, based on what I heard, based on what I learned today, how am I able to transition from where I am currently to something better? So it would be nice we see a blueprint of where you are currently. It would be nice we get to understand what becomes your vision. What is a timeline? What do you think, how long do you think you'll be able to achieve this particular phase? An example would be for the guys who are into the food and beverage industry or manufacturing in general, be it shoe production and all of that. From today's section already, we talked about using technology, we talked about using so many things. And I know the questions as young innovators that will be crossing our mind is, we are already able to produce our products. So why do I need to spend more? Why do I need to invest more money? What does that change? The truth remains that it changes a lot if we're able to see it from a bigger picture. Think about it. Assure you your current process is precise. Yeah, you send the product to the end market, your customer are happy, they see something nice and all of that. That does not prove that the product is okay. It could be that that particular consumer is not able to detect the issues, the technical issues pertaining to that particular product, as the case may be at that point in time. So for this reason, you're not getting a feedback that is able to draw your attention to this. It could be that the consumer needs something cheap and at the end of the day does not even care about the quality, that does not mean that your product is of standard and does not require some necessary improvement. You will better observe the challenges when you choose to move your product from one market to a bigger market. Then you understand that either your product is not able to enter the new market due to regulations, due to standards, compliance, and all of that. Then you start asking yourself a question like, are we selling this product? Why is it that this market is giving me a new criteria and stating my product is not meeting up to the standard in order to get into this market? Then you get to understand that you've actually been producing products without referencing any standards, be it we have Standard Organization of Nigeria, so on, we have all of these, we have a lot of compliance and all of that. You see that you've actually been producing products without getting to understand the compliance aspects of these products from regulatory perspective and all of that, quality wise and all. So this is why today's section should draw your attention to thinking about, because you are having we believe you're having a bigger picture for your products, for the market you want to get into in the future and all of that. For this reason, we believe that you should be doing a brainstorming section at the moment to better understand what is truly needed for you to be able to meet up with compliance regulation, for you to be able to give the customer the best. Not because the customer knows about this, but because you as a producer is now more aware about the regulation, about the compliance, about the quality standards, and you are trying to be able to provide more better products to the end user and all. This is one. For the guys who are into providing services, the question to you will be, how is your services, when maybe it is software, AI tool, as the case may be, how is this really solving one or two challenges, as the case may be, the SMEs are facing? Is this really contributing to eliminating some of the challenges from the SMEs production process with respect to the SDG goals? These are questions you want to be asking. It is not just about providing services to SMEs. What problem is this solving and what impact is this making? Because sometimes we focus more on just providing services and any revenue without thinking about what becomes the next phase of this solution. What else do I need to improve to making sure that the SMEs gets better at being able to manage their day-to-day activities and all? What we are saying is this is a call to stating that your product might look 1000% okay now. We are saying you haven't gotten to that phase where you should be thinking your product is 100% okay and doesn't require any improvement. We are trying to create an awareness for you to go back to your decks, take away the concept of I have arrived, my product is 100% sustainable. Are you really sure that your product is 100% sustainable? For those that have an end product for the consumer, when you say your product is sustainable, sometimes, from efficiency demand perspective, we smile, because many a times we see where entrepreneurs, startups produces products which are sustainable, but from an unsustainable process. And that leaves us to the question of, does that mean this product is really sustainable? When from the process alone, you are tearing off the environment, you are basically imputing more waste into the society than what the end product represent. So this is why from the efficiency DMS side, we are not just looking at the end products stating, oh, your end product is sustainable. You use carton, you use recyclable material. Yeah, good. But again, what about the process? We are so concerned about your process. Are you using 20 liters of fresh water in your process and you're not able to account for these 20 liters? Maybe at the end of the day, you are consuming just 5 of these 20 liters. What is happening to the other 15 liters that are waste? Are you able to account for this? The speaker today talked about energy consumption, talked about CO2 emission, on all of these? How are you keeping track of all of these? You have a mini production process or facility. If we ask you now, what amount of CO2 do you emit? Are you able to tell us? If we ask you what amount of fresh water do you consume and what amount do you recycle, or what amount, are you able to account for all of this? These are things we want you to be thinking about, because we see most times when we talk about sustainability, some persons are more about eliminating waste from the society. Good, that is part of the goal. Some persons are more about CO2 carbon blueprints. But again, by the time we start doing a deep dive, you will see that away from carbon blueprints, there are other water blueprint related. There are other ways that, sincerely speaking, we also need to be accounting for and be making sure that all of these are placed or put under control and all of that. So guys, from the guys who are software designers making life to be easy for the SMEs, nice job. But again, think about it. What impact is your product producing? What is distinguishing your service or your product from what is already in existence? It should be a thing of a challenge if in 2025 you're having or proposing a solution with assumably 75% efficiency, and when the existing solution out there is over 92% efficiency. So are we moving backward or we are moving forward, as the case may be, and all of that? So guys, as we go through this section, we will want you to really go back to your drawing table. We will want you to go revisit your blueprint, be it your product design, the process, the material selection. Think about it, because sometimes, we talked about the shoe production not quite long. Sometimes you might want to answer some questions. What materials are you using to produce these shoes? Some persons say sometimes we convert waste material to producing shoes. At the end of the day, they add more metals, add more things, and they take waste from the society. And at the end of the day, they return waste and even more waste to the society, and they are not able to account for the end life of the product. So again, let's revisit the cradle to cradle and cradle to grave concept of our product. We seriously want to understand the entire life cycle. We want to see you do a proper product life cycle from start to finish, from how you are adding value to your raw materials to how you are converting this into a semi-finished or a finished product to what happens after the consumer uses this product. We want to see what happens next. We shouldn't be so good at rendering services and products to the end user and not also thinking about the afterlife of this product. And this is another uniqueness about the JPI program. We try as much as possible to push the entrepreneurs, the innovators, to not just create products, but to create sustainable products and be able to account for the complete life cycle of this product. Where improvement is needed, they should also be able to propose further improvements with certain milestones on how they want to achieve this optimized product. And also, this is where we say at Efficiency JPI program, you are not, or your product is not expected to live the same way it came into the program. Have this at the back of your mind. When you are receiving this webinar section, we are expecting you to go back to your blueprint and ask yourself some challenging question of where you are right now, from what you've listened to, where do you think you will want to get to, and how do you intend to get to this spot? So again, in the chat, we'll try to share some links with respect to cradle to cradle, cradle to grave. These are clear sustainability tools or templates you could use to revise some of your existing product already. So thinking about how you can be more sustainable when it comes to products. And then we can also talk about the process perspective as we progress. Thank you very much. Over to you, Choma.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Peter, for that words of advice and encouragement. And I don't know if there's any further questions or anything before we call it a day. Okay. Since there's no other further question, I want to say thank you once again for being part of this session, For our participants, we look forward to our continued participation in the future engagements, and also wishing you a productive and successful day ahead. And to our facilitator, thank you very much, sir. It was really nice of you to be here to teach us, to guide us, and to explain. I actually truly enjoyed this session. I didn't even know I would enjoy it as much as I did. I was just paying rapt attention to everything you said. Thank you once again for being here, and good night, everyone, and have a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having us to an insightful session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Thomas.